Welcome to A Stride Above podcast, where our commitment to excellence in equine health and athletic performance unites us. Join your host, Dr. Alberto Rullan, as we trot through the essential topics that matter most to you and your equine family members. With over 15 years of experience in equine sports medicine and rehabilitation, Dr. Rullan is dedicated to navigating you through the latest innovations and essential insights in horse health. Together, we'll ensure that you and your horses always remain a stride above the rest.
Welcome back to another episode of A Stride Above. Today, I really wanted to pick it up a notch. Because, let's face it, if you don't know me, I have some controversial topics behind my back in the veterinary care. But they're good ones, okay? Don't get me wrong. Everything controversial means that, hey, there's something there. If there's controversy, that means that I touch a button, right? I touch a button that you thought or someone thought it might mean something. And anything that gets highly criticized means like, hey, perhaps there's something there. So that's how I know that's how I know controversial is good. So I'm gonna talk about some natural topics. Let's go back to why I do this, right? I am just sick and tired of the pharmaceuticals telling me what do I need to do. I am not a big drug person. I hate drugs. And for everything during vet school, it was drugs, medication for this, medication for that. Not too long ago, actually several years ago, I went to the doctor, the human doctor, and I was telling him some quote-unquote symptoms. And very quickly, this doctor started his pad and started prescribing this, prescribing that, prescribing this. I said, no, that's not what I came. I didn't came for drugs. I guess like they're drug dealers. I didn't come for drugs. I just wanted a diagnosis. Why do you think this is happening? So it was just right away went to treat the symptoms. So for the last several years, then, I have been pushing myself to actually figure out how to fix problems, not just treat symptoms. Don't get me wrong, I treat a lot of symptoms because there are some problems that I cannot fix, right? So we treat the symptoms. But I still try, I still push to try to fix problems. So I have stumbled many years ago on some therapies like stem cells when nobody was using stem cells and people thought I was crazy. Then I started mixing stem cells with PRP and that for sure went wild. Now it's common practice, right? Then I started picking it up a notch and I went to some human homeopathic doctors or some human conferences and I noticed that they were using oxygen. Like some people were using the hyperbaric chamber and some people were using ozone as well. So, what the heck is ozone? So I started experimenting a little bit. I had a client that was very big into natural stuff and had a very similar belief than I did. So we started treating ozone on pretty much using it for everything and experimenting on her horses. It's natural. Hey, we have nothing else to lose. We have absolutely nothing to lose. Most of these horses were not doing good. They were either not going to compete or were horses that were going to die. This client had a lot of horses. And it happens that we were seeing something very, very interesting. Horses that were tying up and they were having other muscle diseases. They were starting to do better when we were doing ozone IV. Oh, by the way, what's ozone? It's literally O3. Like they talk in the atmosphere, right? Like the ozone layer. That's what we're talking about. So horses that were sick, bacterial infection, they were starting getting better. And then we found this doctor in Florida that was human doctor that was using it for tendon healing and for joints in people. And we're like, okay, so what if we use it for joints in horses? And it was a very, very good result. Inflammation in the joint started to go down. Inflammation in any joint. We have done ozone in every joint of the body that you can imagine. The neck, the back, stifles, knees, coffin joints, you name it. We have done it. We have done over 3,000 of them at this up to date. I think when I wrote the book, we have done around 2,500. By the way, if you want to read about this, you can go to www.albertorullan.com. That's Alberto Rullan with 2 L's.com. You can also Google it. And it will direct you to the ebook that I wrote on regenerative therapies. And I talk on ozone as well. So you can get some information over there. So what happened now? Now I'm working with this interesting product and I'm getting attacked heavily because it's not a pharmaceutical, right? It's not a drug. It's 100% natural. And horses love it. They do great. So they love it so much that I got hurt in my knee. And what I requested the doctor to do was ozone treatment. And I did amazing. So I don't do anything in horses that I'm not willing to do to myself, right? Or have a doctor do to myself. And that's exactly what happened. I got hurt, got my knee hurt, got ozone. Several days later, I was doing fantastic. And that's when I really got converted to believing heavily on this particular natural product. Yes, I get significant heat for it from all the veterinarians and of course from the pharmaceuticals because they're not selling me a lot of drugs. But it works very well. I highly recommend it. And if yourself are having an issue, go to the doctor, ask him about it. What is it? Again, it's ozone, O3. From the ozone layer, we have a machine that takes oxygen. It goes through a UV light processing and it gives you ozone. You will also hear some, when you go on the internet, you will hear something called Prolozone. Prolozone is something relatively similar. It uses a concoction of vitamins and other products, 100% natural, and these products are mixed with ozone. I have used it on my knee as well. Now, there's not a whole lot of scientific studies on this, and it's definitely not an FDA approved thing, but guess what? Most of the FDA approved things are more of a politics thing, not necessarily a science thing, right? With the FDA, all you need is 51% success rate. Placebos, I think is like, the latest research I saw on placebo is like 22 to 25%. So anyway, I digress. Ozone and Prolozone. Look it up at albertorullan.com, especially if you believe that natural products are best for your horse. Natural products are good for your horse. There's no doping. There's no harm done to the horse. 100% natural. I repeat, not FDA approved, right? But very effective, very effective. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not a miracle, right? It's an anti-inflammatory and it potentially has some regenerative therapies. We don't know yet 100%. I'm just bringing you the latest. We don't know yet all the research on it, but it's probably coming up sometime soon. I hope you enjoyed this episode of A Stride Above. I hope you have a great day, and don't forget, if you want more information on ozone or Prolozone, www.albertorullan.com.